Hey guys, Cam415 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another My Hero Academia manga chapter review for you guys. As we continue on the story, and we're finally getting the fight that everybody's been crying to freaking get back to, and that is All Might and All for One. And holy hell, what a first great chapter to the start of this holy hell fight that, oh my gosh, I'm just hyped. You got All Might fighting back in his weakened state, pretty much being like Iron Man, I guess you can say. We have a confirmation of a movie character actually being canon, which then means the movies are officially canon to My Hero Academia. Which actually, a fun fact, I heard that they're actually producing another movie now. Alright, I guess that's fine, but we'll see. But holy hell, this chapter was great. One of the best My Hero chapters, you know, in the entire series, straight up. And it really goes to show you, like, this man All Might's been out of the game for like a few months, almost practically a year after he retired. And now he's coming back to help out any way he possibly can. So, this is great stuff. Great stuff. This is the shit people have been waiting for. And I think everybody honestly likes this chapter. And they're excited to see where the story's going. But like I said it like the last chapter, like, okay, well, now that the Toga and Ochako storyline is wrapped up, we only got two fights pretty much going on left, and that's All Might versus All for One, and then Shigaraki versus Deku. So I think we're going to focus on this fight for the next few chapters, and then that's when we're going to cut back to Deku versus Shigaraki. And whatever, I guess, happens in this fight is going to have an outcome, or play a good portion of reason to how the Deku Shigaraki fights turn out. But I kind of honestly have a feeling that honestly this could be the fight where All Might actually dies. But the thing is, it could be like, oh, All Might takes All for One down, beats him, but obviously he's gonna die in the process as well. But let's get to it. This is My Hero Academia. I don't know if they put the chapter on here. Did they put the chapter on here? Chapter 396, titled Battle Without a Quirk. So the chapter starts off where All Might is remembering the moment where Night Eye told him, like, listen, if you keep doing this, you're gonna die by the hands of a terrible villain and everything, and it's gonna lead to a gruesome death. And pretty much All Might's just reflecting. He's like, let me guess, my only guess is this terrible villain you were talking about, Night Eye, is All for One. Clearly your foresight is holding up true. Now, this is 20 minutes before the Toga Twice army faded away. So mind you, this fight was going on during everything that happened in the last few chapters with the Toga and Twice stuff. So, honest to God, maybe the All Might All for One fight ends, or maybe ends a little bit later after the Toga Ochako battle. You have where All Might, he's smiling saying, I am here. All for One gives like this freaking not this demonic looking, but this crazed look in his eye. You know, then all you have to do where All Might forms around the one suitcase he brought out, and it forms around his arms, kind of in a similar enough way like how if you watched Iron Man 2, when Iron Man fought Whiplash at the racetrack, he had the thing where he stepped into it, and then obviously the armor was forming around him to have him wear the Iron Man suit. And that's pretty much what's happening here with All Might. And the only part that is out is the facial part, and All Might is smiling like he always would do, and he's like, I have to show pretty much my mug, right? I have to smile. And it's kind of obviously an homage to Nana Shimura, who always would put a smile on his face. So this is called, this new ability, it's called Armored All Might, and he's just got a chunk of armor and everything. This looks absolutely badass, like absolutely badass. You know, All Might ends up saying, okay, Hercules, roll the camera, and pretty much it's broadcasting to the entire world, or it's broadcasting to the world, like, or well, Labrava does that later on, broadcasting the world of All Might's fight and everything. Now, All Might goes and say, I'll keep you updated on my battle, Sukauchi. So yeah, now Sukauchi, he is shocked about this, and he's like, All Might, what are you doing? You have no quirk. You can't fight a man in All for One that has quirks, that has a whole gangload of quirks. What are you doing? You're just asking yourself to kill yourself and everything. Then you have to where Labrava live streams this fight for the world to see, because if the world sees that All Might's back in the game and he's fighting, even in his retired state, it only is going to give them hope that maybe the heroes can do this and everything. So yeah, but Suguuchi, he's obviously worried about All Might because that's his friend and everything, you know, and he pretty much, he's of the belief, like, it doesn't matter what tools or items you have, a quirkless person can't defeat somebody that has a bunch of quirks, or not going to be somebody that is able to take on somebody the caliber of All for One. And it's kind of been that story this entire series as of late. Like, for example, you know, when Deku's classmates went to go get Deku and bring him back to UA, they fought a character that had multiple quirks. You know, albeit they couldn't beat him one-on-one, they could give him some trouble, and they did. And we saw it in the fight when All for One was in the Gunga Mountain area. You know, yeah, these characters only have like a quirk, you know, but even though All for One is strong enough, it's like, it's crazy strong and he has all these abilities, all these quirks, you can still take him on and you can install him and at least hang in there and maybe catch him by surprise. So yes, so yeah, anyways, Suguuchi tells Labrava, listen, just take down the stream. I don't want people to see this gruesome ass death of a former hero. So yeah, anyways, All for One, he gets very upset, and he's thinking in his head, he's like, All Might, the #1 roadblock in my life, a toy worth mangling more than any other, delaying my advance, a transparent ploy. You know exactly how this is gonna play out. And then pretty much he looks at All Might smiling, he's like, what the hell are you smiling about? And he charges in with a attack. You know, you have it to where All Might charges in too, and he's like Hercules. And he uses this move called Red, I forgot, Red something, I don't know what it's called. He calls it, it's Red something. But he charges at All Might, or he charges at All for One, and boom, he flies straight through it. And he took the hit. Now, we found out that Hercules' shield ended up depleting by 66%, and the next time that a move like that happens, All Might won't be able to take that. So that's kind of the thing in All Might. He's just like, well, that works for me. I can only imagine seeing this animated, especially in the English dub. I know people don't like the English dub of My Hero Academia. I could definitely see it to where Chris Sabat, he's gonna put on that All Might voice, being like, ha ha ha. I can only see it now. I can only see it now. Now, we see the damage that All Might did was, it was good enough where he took a whole arm off of freaking All for One, you know, and everything. Now, All for One, he's just madly charging in. Then All for One, as he's freaking he's healing himself, he goes and say, that only ever worked because you held one for all. Then you have it to where All Might uses these cables and he calls it Black Whip, then calls it Charge Bolt, which I'll get onto a second. So it's starting to shock and delay the it's starting to shock and delay the healing process for All for One by doing this, and it's affecting him and everything. Now he goes on to say, then All Might goes and say, want him in cellophane. And then he actually ends up going to say, ever since your final battle against my master, you have made a habit of kicking off fights with ranged attacks. Then he uses his next move called Sugar Man, and he goes on to say, you love wearing folks down before stealing their quirks, but that approach is meant for those fighting with quirks. And he pretty much goes on to say, listen, you can try your long range attacks against people with quirks, but it ain't gonna work on somebody that has no quirk because you can't steal my quirk. And pretty much Labrava tells Suguuchi, hey, is it gonna be as gloomy as you think it's gonna be? Because I don't think so. And everything. All Might goes on to say, the suit and the car here to keep me in this fight, if only for a bit. I came with the specs and put in the design request. Back when you brought us to our knees, I had no choice to take refuge over in the States. I made a friend there, and these are the fruits of that bond. As All Might is saying that, you get a panel shot, 2 panel shots of Melissa Shield from the My Hero Academia movie, 2 Heroes. Yes, that same Melissa Shield from 2 Heroes is now in the manga, and Horikoshi drew her entire character design and everything. She is in the movie. She is in this chapter. And we knew. And seeing this, that only makes this movie, I'm guessing, canon to the timeline of My Hero Academia. Now, if you go back and watch all the My Hero Academia movies, you can actually fit the movies in the canon timeline in direct points. 2 Heroes literally fits in between after season 2, but before season 3. The second movie is after season 3, but at some point before season 4. And then the third movie takes place pretty much during season 5 of the anime, during the part where Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki, they're all doing the Endeavor Agency stuff, right? Seeing Melissa Shield finally in this chapter, and a few chapters ago, I think we got a reference or something to Melissa Shield. We saw like a little, yes we did. A few chapters ago, we saw like a little tiny panel of Melissa right then and there. And then obviously, if you go back to the whole Rogue Vigilante Deku arc, Deku had the whole full gauntlets. And people back then are like, wait a second. Those full gauntlets look exactly like the things that he got from Melissa Shield in the first 2 Heroes movie, in the first My Hero Academia movie. So, and All Might made a reference saying like, hey, I got it from a friend, you know, in another country. So this is groundbreaking news. Now again, we don't know if this is canon. Like, you know, maybe the character Melissa Shield is now canon in the My Hero Academia storyline. But honestly, this just makes me believe the movies are now canon. So she could actually Melissa could actually know of Deku. Unless if they don't want to keep the movies canon, then it could be like, okay, she knows of All Might's pupil Deku. She just never met him. Or doesn't know what it looks like. But I think it's gonna be this whole thing of, no, the movies are canon. These movie characters know who Deku is because he's helped them and everything. And it's like, it feels so good. And that just makes it even better because, okay, David and Melissa Shield, they're both canon in the series, and it's great to see. And I'm so excited. When I saw this reading the unofficial translation, I was like, oh my god, they brought these characters. Which only means the other movie characters, they're all canon to the story. They're all canon to the story. So we have the 2 siblings from Heroes Rising, and then you have Rhodey from the 3rd movie. I think that's his name. What is it? They're canon. They are canon. Melissa here is canon. And again, Melissa looking like a whole snack. We all know that. We all know she was a snack in the first movie. She's a snack in the manga too. So anyways, All Might pretty much proclaims saying, all that I've been blessed with will bear its weight against you. And pretty much he goes and says, we've known each other long enough that you should realize something, my dear friend. And then the chapter ends off with All Might using shoot style. And shoot style smash. And he's saying, not once in my entire life have I gotten into a battle expecting to lose. As the chapter ends off, break next week, absolutely crazy. And I forgot to mention, you heard me in the chapter talk about the different moves All Might is using, and he's using moves of class 1A. On top of it, he's using Deku's move. That shoot style, that's a Deku move. The black whip, a Deku move. I forgot the other. I think the charge bolt is a the charge bolt is a Kaminari move, and then I think Reeling Cellophane, I think that's tape guy, forgot his name. But you know, but he's using moves of class 1A to aid him, to help him and everything. And it's kind of the thing of like, he's taking them and any way he can do from them to use it to his fight against All for One. And it's absolutely crazy. You know, this chapter was amazing. It was great. Holy hell. A bunch of stuff. And I love, you know, when the chapter ended off with him using shoot style, I'm like, it's so crazy that the master is using his pupil's moves, because he's like, I have to do something. I have to. And I just love it. It's just great writing. I love it. And this was a banger of a chapter. Love this chapter. Break next week. So we're probably going to cut back to this fight, and we're going to see how this is going to go. But right now it's going good for All Might. I figure All for One's going to turn it around the best you can. But the thing is this. All Might is either going to stall for time till All for One completely rewinds his body out of existence, or two, he's gonna probably more than likely, and this is my prediction, he's gonna take All for One down with him in order to go on from this point on. But the world's seeing this, and when the world's gonna see this, that's only gonna inspire people to pretty much get back on the hero's side. I think what All Might is also doing is be a symbol saying, listen, I may have been out of the game, you know, for months, but I'm going to do what I can to help. And if it's something I can do to help, then I'm going to do what I can. And maybe this gives people a spark to feel hope again, to have hope in heroes again. And, you know, after it's All Might that does it, and then when people watch Deku fight Shigaraki, that's going to be the thing where it's like, alright, we can truly trust heroes again, you know, as Deku brings this new age of heroes into the new limelight. But really great chapter by My Hero Academia. Can't wait to see where the story's gonna go. And yeah, but if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, as well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content or any other anime content or manga content I upload to the channel. Till then guys, stay safe out there, have a great rest of your day or night or watching this video. Peace.